All right, welcome to my Epic Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can enjoy this content. Let's see, the best way, in my opinion, and what I always recommend is you go to the blog. And the blog is at myepicbuddies.blogspot.com. But I know that's a lot to remember or too much to type in. So wherever you are engaging with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature, and either the words link to my Epics Buddies blog will be there, or the actual link will be there. And you click that link and you go there and it's free. You don't have to put your email address in, and I'm not selling anything. All right. So today is Tuesday. Ooh, but this will load up as of Wednesday. But this is covering news. Just a few. This is going to be a short one. For real. I know I say that sometimes, but the news is all political still. It's still about the Turkey deal for the water. What else? Something else, but whatever. It's not worth really talking about. Oil, all that stuff. All right. So, in yesterday's episode, Sudani was interviewed by Reuters, remember? And I went over, and the last line said he was a little concerned about the delay in implementing the reforms. Well, so today, there's this. Sudani's second term, Reuters calls him the favorite. So that's my title. The title that is the actual title is pretty much the same. Reuters predicts Sudani's victory. He is the favorite to win a second term. And there he is. And it just says Reuters predicted on Tuesday that Iraqi Prime Minister, and all his names are there, is the most likely candidate to win a second term. But I'm sure there's a reason why he's coming around. So there was an interview, and I think the New York Times or the New York Post, but that, or he may have written the article. It is, that's one of those ones where you have to have a subscription to get the article, and someone sent it to me, but it's really long. It's not formatted. So I would have had to gone through and spaced, and all that. And I just wasn't doing all that, because when you read it, it seems like he may not even have written it. But it's very positive, very pro-America. Something like, we want peace with America, and we want to help usher in prosperity with America. So, if he did indeed write it, then it's proof that he has come around and realized the only way I'm going to get a second term is if I work with this administration, right? What I was hoping was they, in Iraq, would do a short write-up of that article. And there's still time. They could do it. Today is just Tuesday. They could do it tomorrow. And then I would be able to copy and paste that, right, on the blog. And then you could read that. But, it's just more words, right? Yeah. So, the elections are November 11th. And I did find the article, which will be towards the bottom, where they say they're not using the indelible ink. And you guys are great. Confirming things and say, yeah, you were right, whatever, in the comment section. Thank you, thank you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And I think I even might have time to say, hey, if you'd like to subscribe at 11 minutes and 11 seconds, a little icon's going to pop up in the right-hand bottom corner. Click on that, and then I think you might have to click on it again, and you're subscribed. Alrighty. So, and then this explains how the actual election on the 11th is for the representatives, the people that are going to vote for the representatives. They get hired, they get voted in, they approve, not voted in, but I don't know, some word, I'm sure they have some proper word that I'm not thinking of, but they get seated, maybe they get seated, and then they vote on the prime minister. All right, so that's what that's talking about. Okay, now I like this. Bank of Baghdad forms its new board of directors, becoming the first Iraqi bank to implement. All right, the central bank's new governance framework. And who gave them the new governance framework? Oliver Wyman, right? Even though it doesn't say that here. But so it says the move is part of the ongoing reform process initiated by the bank in accordance with the directives of the Central Bank of Iraq within its banking reform program. The new board represents a significant step, making Bank of Baghdad the first bank in Iraq to implement the new corporate governance framework approved by the CBI. So yeah, if you want to read that, it tells you who's going out, who's coming in. And there's this meeting, they discussed this at a meeting, the 9th meeting of whatever. And they spoke to this person here. How do you even say that? How do you say that? All right. So, the new board represents a strategic step towards strengthening corporate governance practices and solidifying the principle of separation between ownership and executive management. He expressed his pride that Bank of Baghdad is the first Iraqi bank to implement the Central Bank of Iraq's new framework. He affirmed that the bank will continue to maintain its financial stability and operational robustness while moving forward with its ambitious strategy for sustainable growth and the provision of innovative banking solutions. All right, so that's the first of many, right? They have like 70 banks or something, 80 banks, I can't remember. A year ended without a budget. Iraq is on the verge of economic paralysis and a freeze on services. Now, I'm not sure why they're saying a freeze on services, other than we know the end of the year they shut down to do end of the year balancing. The word's not coming, but it starts with the R. Reconciliation. Reconciling. They do it every year, but some Intel guru person is going to make it a big deal, but it's not because they do it every year. All right, so let's see. This is saying since they didn't reveal the 2025 fiscal year, 2026 has to go in this 1/12 monthly spending rule. And I bet you when it comes down to it and they're ready to do the 2026, there'll be some kind of exception made. They'll say this is outside of the normal procedures, but it's still constitutional. Something. They don't when it comes to Iraq, you can't look at them the way you look at our government because it's totally different. And B, they're going to do whatever they need to do, whenever they need to do it, however they need to get it done. And the people are going to complain, just like they put out, hey, we're America, we're picking your prime minister and 7 ministries and the CBI governor for the next governor, right? That's not normal. but we did it, right? So, and the same thing goes with the rate. People say, well, they can't just change the rate overnight. Yes, they can. It was brought down artificially because of conflict, aggressive conflict, 3-letter word, right? So now that they're back to normal almost, we're going to give you back your value plus interest or inflation, right? That's what we've always been told. All right, so now look at this. So it was Tuesday. They had their regular Minister of Finance, Council of Ministers meeting, and it was long and boring, except for this. The cabinet agreed allocations for holding an international conference and recommendations regarding ApplePay. So earlier this year, they just brought the Apple phones, right? Now, special recommendations regarding the activation, approve, implement, activate. This is activation of global Apple Pay services in Iraq. By adopting the documents required by the parent company instead of commercial registration certificate to obtain the trusted license from the Media and Communications Commission and exempting the company from provisions of amended foreign companies branches systems. So you see they're exempting. What does exempting mean? Sort of, kind of. An exception, right? Everyone else has to follow this, but you, Apple, are exempt. And so this is another way, because you can hold money in your Apple Pay. Matter of fact, I take Apple Pay. No, just kidding. But I don't give it out because you have to have my phone number. And I don't give my number out. I hope you can't hear that awfully loud helicopter. It turns out there's an airport near here somewhere, but the planes are still high enough that you don't hear them. Anyway, yeah, so they are moving right along. Oh, but anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, Apple is, so you can hold money in your Apple Pay account. It's still digital, right? So you would still need, cause I'm always thinking in terms of the apocalypse, right? Life after the apocalypse. You still would need digital stuff and electricity to pay, but, if it's not that catastrophic, right, it's still money outside of the traditional banks, right? So that's another reason why I like Apple Pay. So, but here, if you would like to support me, my FX buddies, here's how you would do that. This banner here, in case you're wondering, is you can get in on the pre-sale, the pre-sale for this coin, and you can click here and it'll take you to, I think it takes you, no, if you click here it takes you there to sign up, and some of you have, but the thing is, before November 15th, you put in $30 and you get 60,000 coins plus 5,000 bonus tokens, coins, and I get 5,000. And yeah, it's pretty neat. How often can you say you were on the ground floor of a cryptocurrency? And it's not just backed by anything. The gentleman who is starting the coin has energy. He's really big on getting pollutants out of the air, hydrogen energy. Really neat. Really something to, well, I'm gonna say support because I want to, but hydrogen energy is they're just looking into that, right? So, yeah. But anyway, so if you want to go there, go there. And November 15th is the cutoff for the bonus. Plus, it's going to go up in price. Right now, the coins are 0.0005 per coin. November 15th, it goes up to 0.010. All right. Now, you could go to Buy Me a Coffee. This will be a live link when the blog is live. And Cash App is always live. And it's $Tishwash. And PayPal is Tishwash. Big or small, I appreciate it all. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Oh, that's big. All right. So here's another meeting. The CBI met with European Union mission to Iraq. And it's all the same stuff. Ways to enhance economic and banking cooperation between the two sides. Most prominent economic transformations and banking reforms led by the central bank. So yeah, they'll both work together to expand cooperation. So all good. Same thing they always say. And there's the little delegation that came. And let's see. Here is it. I just thought this was interesting. If you heard me or if you read yourself, part of Mark Savaya, the envoy, part of his job is to not renew contracts with China. And then here, who met with him? I think Fuad Hussein, yes, the foreign minister, met with the ambassador to China. And yeah, so, but here's what they say they talked about. We thank China says, we thank Iraq for facilitating the work of our companies and citizens. Because last I read, there's like 200,000 Chinese in Iraq to do the work through the companies that are there. So yeah, they praise the continuous progress in bilateral cooperation thanks to the mutual efforts of both sides. So again, all right. So here in yesterday's, I was like, they're saying there's a joint air something with Qatar, right? So here's the article. The U.S. opens a joint air defense command center with Qatar at, however you say that, air base. And I was wondering, I mean, it still doesn't say, is this a rare thing? Is this out of the ordinary? What's the point of doing this? I don't get it. But, yeah. So it's a short little article. And then now this is big. And I think this is the last article. Yes. This is good. This is really good. Iran shifts strategy in Iraq from hard power to political integration. So if you read this, well, let me read a little bit. Oh, yeah, we're at 19 minutes. Okay. Iran is recalibrating its playbook in Iraq, moving from overt military influence to deeper political and economic integration as mounting Western and regional pressure reshapes Tehran's approach to its key neighbor. According to the report, and you know what I think is this? No, there's a different report that's really long. So I'm not even gonna post it. But they did a good job. This is a good article. Iran is now pursuing a dual-track strategy, embedded allied factions and figures more firmly into Iraq's political system, while quietly strengthening select armed groups. Oops, I said that word. I didn't mean to, but whatever. As insurance against future instability. So the more I read this, the more it seems to me, and see, it's even longer. There's even more to this article. And when this is a live blog, if you want to read the rest, you click here and it'll come up. But they are going to appear, this is what I think this article is saying, that Iran is going to appear to go along, get along, let the rate change happen, and then, depending on what the U.S. admin does, right, if need be, they'll wake up and rear their ugly heads, right? That's what I think this article is saying. But also, that's my phone. Remember, I said, I don't know how long ago, but the foreign minister or whatever he is of the neighbor went over to China, I believe, and then Russia came over, or vice versa. Whatever it was, all three were there. And I said, I bet you they told the neighbor, just go along to get along so we can move forward. Let them think you're on their side, blindside them, but get this done, right? And I don't know, it seems like that's what they might be doing. Even though, like I said, this article is saying they're gonna lay low, integrate, right? So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. And if you like, like I said, if you'd like to read it, all these articles are on the blog. So I'm not gonna stretch this out. I don't have anything, no videos or extra fun things, just those articles. And they're going on holiday tomorrow, or actually today, right now. They're on I hate to say holiday. It's commemorating the taking out of a woman. I don't know what she did, why she was celebrated, but yeah, that's what they're doing. Not over the whole country, but much of it. And then they are going on relaxed working schedules up to the day of the elections. So I don't know if there's not going to be much news to talk about, right? Or whatever. So yeah, it is what it is. We'll just go through this. I'll be here reporting any little thing I could find. Well, we had a neat little find about ApplePay, right? And yeah, so that's it. Thank you again. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for giving me your time. Your time is important, just as mine is. We're gonna stick this out. We're in New Rate November, believing, right? All things are possible. So, accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And, yeah, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.